What's up, everybody? Welcome to Move the Sticks, presented by Castro Edge. DJ Bucky are with you today. And Buck, I feel like today, as we're kind of really kicking off the draft season officially, we should talk about a position that always gets pushed to the back. I say we bring running backs to the forefront today. What do you think?
Oh, man, let's do it because I believe they are underrated, but they have tremendous value when it comes to how you win games on offense.
Yeah, so we're going to do that. Not talk quarterbacks here. We're talking running backs, doggone it. And let's start off here with the running back we love on each day of the draft. We've got 3 days, so that's going to give us 6 running backs to hit here. Let's start right now. Day one, a running back you love.
Najee Harris from Alabama. Najee Harris is the big body runner that every offense wants. Not only because he can bring it from a physical standpoint, meaning he is the hammer running over all these nails on the defense side of the ball, but he has soft hands and he can make plays happen in the passing game. And so it's unusual to get someone who is 6'2", 230 pounds, who can run routes like a legitimate playmaker out of the backfield and is a capable screen runner. But that's what Najee Harris is. I believe he is someone that can anchor an offensive attack because he can do so much as an every down back.
Yeah, interesting. I thought you saw him add a little more juice here in this final season at Alabama. Saw some more quickness, saw some more explosiveness, and then his involvement in the passing game, being able to do a lot of different things with him. He's a very intriguing player. Now, I'm going to go to the guy who I believe is the best running back in the draft, and that's Travis Etienne from Clemson. And what I love about Etienne, first of all, is just the burst. I mean, he is big time speed, and you see that once he gets to the perimeter, and you see that once he gets to the second and the third level. He's very dynamic, not as much wiggle as you might like, but he's got more strength and power than people give him credit for, to be able to pull through tackles, to break tackles, and then once he gets out in the open field, he's gone. And Buck, I saw him get more involved in the passing game throughout his career, who you don't just use him and swing him the ball. You can get him the ball down the field as well. He's a really dynamic player.
Yeah, really terrific playmaker in terms of his home run ability. He has that 0 to 60 acceleration and burst that you always want in a top end running back.
Yeah, to me, get him to an outside zone team and watch out. Saw what Jamal Charles did in his career. I see a lot of similarities there with Travis Etienne and what he brings to the table. Okay, that's day one. That's the first round. Let's go outside the first round, day two, rounds 2 and 3. A running back you would target, a running back you love.
I really like Chuba Hubbard coming out of Oklahoma State. And the reason why I like him is similar, but to a lesser degree of what you described in Travis Etienne. I love the home run speed and ability. 7 carries where he went for 50 or more yards this year. And then you factor in the fact that he can catch the ball out the backfield. He does some really good things in the open field. I believe that he has an opportunity as a rotational player to be a bit of an impact player as a change of pace player.
Yeah, I was talking with a GM the other day, and he brought up a great point. We were talking about how you take a committee of backs, right? And we used to say, okay, we need complementary pieces. You get one small guy, you get one big guy, get different skill sets. And he was saying, I don't think you need that anymore. I think you just get as many good backs as you can get, even if they have the same traits, as long as they can hold up in pass protection. I don't care if you have 3 200-pound backs or 3 225-pound backs. Just get good runners. I thought that was fascinating. For me, I'm going to go to your alma mater. I see those Carolina jerseys over your shoulders. I'm going to go to Javonte Williams from North Carolina, who, Buck, I'm not so sure isn't the best running back in the entire draft. I think he's very much in that conversation with the 2 we mentioned there in the first round, because he can give you the power that you get from Najee Harris with the size, and then I think he gives you some of that burst and quickness that you get with Travis Etienne. He's almost really the best of both worlds. And the comp for him, when you watch him, and having talked to coaches that have been on both the Georgia staff and the Carolina staff, they say this guy's an awful lot like Nick Chubb, not just as a player, but as a person, the leadership, the character, all business, all football.
Yeah, he is all football all the time, and he has been really a nice find when you think about where he's come from and how he's been able to really display not only the physicality and toughness that you want from your inside runners, but his ability to make plays in space. He's a remarkable prospect. He is someone that, you're right, he may go in the first round.
No doubt. To me, he's in that mix. All right, let's get to day 3 here. So we get down to the last few rounds. Give me a back you would target and why.
Jared Patterson from the University of Buffalo. Very productive. really sneaky, explosive. 9 runs over 50 yards. Really a great job of putting that offense on his back. And when you're looking for players on day 3, players that can come in, production is a big part of it. And when I watch him run, I watch the vision, I watch the toughness that he displays. And when you see him just kind of rack up these big games, I think he has a chance. I think he has a chance to carve out a nice role for himself in the National Football League.
Yeah, I don't know how many 8 touchdown games he's going to get in the NFL, but man, that dude was productive at Buffalo. He's fun to watch. I'm going to go to the Pac-12, Oregon State, Jamar Jefferson, who's got some size. Maybe more of a one-cut guy, Buck, but to me, tremendous vision. More likely kind of step through tackles and to lower his shoulder, really power through tackles. But to me, again, somebody who's going to be a piece of the rotation. I don't think you're going to want him as the every down guy, even though he's got some size and strength to him. But I think he's going to be a nice complementary piece in somebody's backfield. And to me, we're talking about day 3, 4th, 5th round. To me, is a great spot for him.
It is a great spot. And you talked about it, DJ. You talked about how the trend is changing in the National Football League, where you want a bunch of good running backs. And there are a ton of good running backs in this class. We mentioned guys that could go on day 3, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of these day 3 guys end up earning bigger roles than their draft status.
Yep, and as these guys get to their pro days and finish up there, we'll get a chance to get some verified numbers on them, help sort these stacks out. But I do believe this is a very good group of running backs, and I thought we needed to give them their due. Let's talk about them early on in the process. Can't wait to see where these guys land, and we do expect a bunch of these backs to step on an NFL field and have an immediate impact. Still to come on Move the Sticks, former Pro Bowl running back Matt Forte joins the show and reveals which top prospect is most similar to him.
Hand off to Forte. And Forte picks up another first down and more. He is inside the 10 and will take it in for a Bears touchdown.
Is it time for the Jags to overhaul their engine?
Minshew's taking a deep shot for Chris Conley into the end zone. Conley runs it down, and he's got it for a touchdown.
We take Jacksonville into the MTS Body Shop for a complete scouting inspection.
To the air again, and this is Jamar Chase. He's in a chase, and he will take it all the way.
Next up, top receiver prospect Jamar Chase discusses his reasons for opting out this past season and how he's preparing to hear his name called on draft night. Now it's time for Be Prepared, presented by Castrol Edge. And let's take a look here at Bucky's top 5 receivers ranked in the upcoming draft. You see there at number 5, LSU, what do you know? 2 receivers on this list. Terrace Marshall Jr., Kadarius Toney, will do everything at Florida. A couple Alabama studs in Smith and Waddle. And then right up there at the top of the list, number 1 is LSU's Jamar Chase, an absolute stud. Recently, Bucky and I had a chance to sit down and talk with Jamar. Here's that conversation. All right, Buck, excited to be joined by one of the best players in the entire draft class here, LSU's Jamar Chase.
Burrow to throw, going up top, looking toward the end zone, passes, caught! Jamar Chase, touchdown!
Jamar, how you doing, man? How you feeling?
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm feeling great.
I want to start first question, just going back to the decision. Look, it was obviously a very difficult time for everybody to kind of take in all the information, to do what was best for you going forward. What was it ultimately that made the decision to opt out of 2020 and start getting ready for the draft?
Everything was so overwhelming at the time. It was a tough decision on me and my partner and my family. So, I wanted to do what's best for me and my family, but I didn't really like the rules that they had going on. So I talked to my dad, and we had a sit-down conversation. He guided me through it.
Jamar, in thinking about taking that time away from your team, what have you been working on individually to continue to develop your game?
I've been working on a lot of my weaknesses, trying to stay low to the ground, keeping my body under control, catching on the sides that I know I might have weaknesses on, the small things that I notice about myself.
Jamar, I was trying to figure out who you reminded me of when I was watching you. I wrote down on my paper, you kind of look like a faster version of Anquan Bolden. Is there anybody that you patterned your game after that you studied?
I used to be a big Dez Bryant fan back then. I used to study him a lot.
Now he's going to go downfield here, adjusting and making the catch is Dez Bryant for the touchdown.
Downfield for Chase, who's got it? Touchdown, LSU.
But, you know, now I try to take as many pieces as I can and make them all in one.
You know, Jamar, in thinking about all of the successful receivers that have come out of LSU, Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, even your former teammate Justin Jefferson, was it about LSU that enables you guys to produce top-end playmakers at the position?
All those cats you name, you know, they all have that dog in them, you know. They want to play football. They love the game. You know, that's what they really love. That's their passion. And I think that's what's most the best about the LSU receivers, that we love the game the most and we show it.
When you've talked with teams, I know you get a chance to talk with a couple teams, Jamar, is there anything that they present to you that maybe they were concerned with you as a player, or an area you feel like you need to get better at?
No, not necessarily. You know, they told me a few things that I should work on, but, you know, it wasn't the things that I already noticed about myself. So, you know, it's just more work that I noticed on my part and their part to help me out.
You know, in thinking about the success that your teammate Justin Jefferson was able to have right away as a rookie.
Cousins taking a deep shot. Jefferson's got separation, and he's got the catch inside the 40. Jefferson still going. See you later.
Does that give you confidence that you may be able to make an immediate impact in the National Football League?
Of course. Not just because he did it, but that's just my mindset, you know.
I want to know, are you a talker, man? Are you a talker out on the field, or are you a keep quiet and just let your play speak for itself?
I usually let my play speak for itself. You know, I'm much of a talker at practice. You know, I like to keep the energy going at practice.
You know, in thinking about this, like you have a big pro day coming up. What are some of the things that you want to prove to scouts and coaches that have a chance to see you at your pro day?
I want to prove to them that I'm a real wide receiver, you know. To do as much as anybody else can, probably better, you know. So I'm going out there and play my game and show them what they want to see.
I want you to put your scout hat on for us here. I know you guys have about 40-something guys training with you right now. Who's somebody that stood out to you, getting a chance to work out with him here over the last little while?
I would probably say JD. I call him JD. I don't know him by his real name yet, so I call him JD for short. Pretty fast guy, real explosive. I think he's from North Texas, so that's one of the guys that stood out to me the most.
There you go. It's good scouting.
that is good scouting. Other good scouting is recognizing this. So I'd asked you a little bit about LSU and the receivers that have come out of there, but your rival Alabama has also produced a ton of receivers. So who has the best receivers in the SEC? Is it Alabama? Is it LSU? You tell me.
Well, you know, I'm going to say LSU, but I don't need to say nothing more. I'm pretty sure y'all going to agree with me on that.
No, hey, look, I don't think there's a wrong answer. I don't think there's a wrong answer to that question. Last one from me, Jamar. This is the most important question. Has there ever been a time where you've had to pretend like you knew what Coach Orgeron was saying because you couldn't understand a word of it?
Yeah, I get this question all the time. But yeah, he does it sometimes. You know, I just be like, yes, sir, you know, and then keep it pushing and then go back to it.
That's awesome, man. Hey, look, man, it doesn't get much better than you, man. We enjoyed watching you. We cannot wait to see you at your pro day. We'll cover it here on the network and then just watch you tear up the league as we know you will. Thanks for your time, bud. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I can't wait to be back. Thank you.
Great to catch up with Jamar Chase there. He's just an absolute stud. As we look at some other studs here, receivers selected in the top 3 over the last 20 drafts. You look at this list here. Calvin Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, Andre Johnson, 3 Hall of Famers when it's all said and done once their time comes. Just phenomenal talents. And as we look at this year's draft, Buck, both of us in the top 3 have Jamar Chase going at number 3 to the Miami Dolphins. This is a unique talent, Buck. You can tell by talking to him there. No nonsense, and I think that's kind of the way he plays on the field as well.
Yeah, he is a no-nonsense player. And I think it's interesting when we look at the guys that have had success in that top 3, they've been guys that were kind of freaks of nature in terms of height, weight, speeds, and production. And when I look at Jamar Chase, he's a freakish, productive playmaker. When you look at the way that he played in 2019, his ability to win the 50-50 balls, his ability to really dominate on the outside, and to think that he was the number 1 on an offense with Justin Jefferson playing as the number 2. When you look at what Justin Jefferson has been able to do in the league, man, your expectations for what Jamar Chase will do certainly are high and worthy of him being considered as a top 3 talent.